I've been saying it for a while, don't take steroids. Who says it more than me? I've literally built my whole brand around being steroid free and staying natural. Steroids will either kill you or harm you in some sort of way. Just because you're young, you feel invincible right now and you think you can just hop on anything with no consequences because you know some guy at the gym who's 45 and he's never had any problems because he just does it in small amounts. It doesn't matter. No one's invincible, and some people are more susceptible to having bad side effects from taking steroids. As you guessed by the title of this video, we've recently just had a lad on TikTok. He's 20 years old and he's just had a heart attack from taking steroids. Now, I've seen him floating about TikTok a little bit in the past. I think I might have even reacted to one or two of his videos. This is crazy. I've just realized when editing this video, I did make a TikTok about him in March 2022. And in this TikTok video, I literally predicted that he was going to have heart problems in the future. Check this out.
The time when I first took gear, basically just say fuck it and get massive 200 mg of MPP, 400 mg of test, and 80 mg of S23, and I did that for 10 weeks, and it turned me into a fucking water buffalo. I was having some problems. My EKG was very high, and I was having blood pressure issues to the point where I had to take blood pressure medication for a while. So I decided to do Tren A for this next cycle for 150 mg, and then Mass P 200 mg, and then test at 200 mg. And I got really shredded. And when I did that, my blood pressure actually went down, surprisingly, even though I was on Tren.
The reason why I show you this stuff is because I want to show you the dark side and the reality of taking gear. First off, no hate whatsoever. But the guy just said he was noticing blood pressure problems and heart problems, so he hopped on Tren. How does that work? But you've got to read in between the lines. He said despite being on Tren, his blood pressure came down. Yes, that's because you've dropped body weight. Nothing to do with the Tren whatsoever. He said his EKG was very high. This could mean potential heart problems further down the line. Ask yourself, is it really, really worth it? As I say, he's 20 years old, but he's been taking steroids since he was 15. That's 5 years of blasting hard steroids. I think he's done Tren, Deche, testosterone. I'm not too sure what other steroids he's taken, but he's pretty much been on consistently for the last 5 years. He's also said multiple times that when he comes off, he feels like he's shrank and he doesn't post content because he is off cycle. So therefore, he doesn't want to be judged because he feels too small. This is body dysmorphia. We were talking a little bit about this in the Alex Eubank video yesterday, which you can go and watch up here. When you're in the fitness industry and you build your entire image around being super jacked, that almost becomes the expectation. Not just that other people have of you, because if you lose size, people will notice it and comment it because people are just divvies. But also you have that expectation of yourself. You notice that you lose a little bit of size and then you think that people are going to judge you based on that. And at the end of the day, you're only 20. You've got your whole life ahead of you, but you've got no wisdom at that age. When I was 20, I didn't have a freaking clue what I was doing, coming or going. And I had my life together in a pretty good manner. But you think you're invincible. You think you know it all. You follow all the top TikTokers and Instagrammers who are talking about taking Tren and taking steroids, so it makes you feel that you're not alone with it, so therefore you feel a little bit more safe because it's not just you taking the steroids. And then bang, out of nowhere, this guy has a heart attack.
Hey guys, I'm here to spread awareness. I'm 20 years old and I just had a heart attack from gear. If you don't know what gear is, it's anabolic steroids. Steroids are really bad for you. I've been abusing PEDs for the past 5 years, SARMs, human growth hormone, everything you can possibly imagine.
As you see, when he was 15, he started with SARMs. SARMs are marketed as steroids without the side effects, but it's been reported around 50% of the people who take SARMs actually experience side effects. Unfortunately, anything that speeds up your muscle growth process is going to come with side effects. It's the same with fat loss. The body is a very complex machine. You cannot outsmart it. If you want to take something to speed up your results, then there's going to be negative side effects somewhere else. So if you're going to take SARMs instead of steroids, you can still potentially experience side effects.
And to look the way I wanted to look, to be as big as the other guys, I pushed gear and I pushed food, and I was not truly paying attention to my health.
Of course you weren't paying attention to your health because you're 20 years old. You shouldn't really have any need to pay attention to your health. And at that age, you do feel invincible. But I'm 34 and I tell you, you do start becoming a lot more health conscious. That's why when I see these teenagers or lads in the early 20s talking about the gym like it's the life and their physique is their life, it's often I say to them, lads, you've got no perspective on the world. I guarantee your mindset changes as you get older, as you have kids, and as you have more to lose. There's so many fitness influencers influencers out there who used to be on gear and used to advocate for it, who now speak out against it and actually recommend against you getting on steroids. Greg Doucette's one of those people. More Plates, More Dates recommends that you don't take steroids and just try to do it naturally. There's a lot of bodybuilders out there who will 100% tell you to stay natural. Is it really, truly worth it to look a little bit bigger?
I was a mess monster at one point, and now I suffer the consequences from abusing PEDs. This won't happen to everybody, but I hope you can please, and I mean please, go get blood work done, and please don't abuse this shit.
It is very serious, and I'm glad that he's okay. Now what you're going to see is him go completely natural. He hasn't said this, but I can just imagine that this type of scare is going to put a lot of things into perspective for him. It might mess with his head a little bit. People are going to talk about how he's losing size, so he's going to need to express a little bit of mental fortitude to push through that and ignore all the naysayers.
It's serious. And like I said before, I'm the age 20 and I just got a heart attack from taking it for so long. And with hardly any rest breaks.
He said he's been taking it for so long without any breaks. And I'm sure there's people out there, as there always is, who will say, Shaun, how do you know this is from steroids? Steroids aren't bad for you. There's no research. If you do it properly, there's super minimal risk. Okay, let's just go with your argument. Steroids are completely safe, or so you claim. These last couple of weeks, I've had a little bit of a health scare myself. I started getting palpitations just after one of my personal training clients in the gym, and it was really scary. It was like my heartbeat was pounding out of my chest. I was like, whoa, I went all dizzy. I ended up lying on the floor of my gym. Lie there, my mate sat next to me for like an hour. The paramedics were out, were doing the ECG on me. I went to A&E, I got my blood work done, I got x-rays, I got ECG'd again. Everything came back completely fine. There's no heart problems, no heart failure. And then it happened again last week. I was in the pictures, sitting there, and then all of a sudden, my heart rate shot right up to 165 beats per minute out of nowhere at complete rest. Bum, 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 bum. I couldn't even breathe. I was slumped over. I said to the lad, get an ambulance. Turned out I was okay, but I went back to A&E again, got all the tests done, everything completely fine. They think what it is I'm a little bit sick at the moment, and that's just creating an adverse effect, and my body is responding by giving me palpitations. Palpitation can be caused by so many different things. But when it happened, I thought, I'm done for. I'm going to die on the cinema floor in front of the pick mix. What a way to go out. And both times when I went into the hospital, they asked me the same thing. Are you taking any cocaine? No. Any drugs? No. Any steroids? No. Anytime someone comes into the hospital with some sort of heart problem, they always ask the same thing. Cocaine or steroids? If steroids are completely fine and completely safe for you, why do they need to ask this question? Just because Jay Cutler took gear for so many years and didn't have any problems does not mean that you can do the same. Everyone's got different genetics.
So all you kids out there who are taking PEDs, please reconsider your health. Go talk with your doctor. Get blood work done. Take lower doses. Do anything you possibly can in order to reduce the risk of getting a heart attack or suffering other diseases like I just suffered and went through.
And that's right, if you are doing steroids, you want to get checked by the doctor, but don't just get your blood work done, because that doesn't show you the whole big picture. You want to also get an echocardiogram done. This is going to show you if there's any calcium buildup within your arteries. It's something that I'm actually going to get done over the next couple months, just to make sure everything is good and in working order.
Normal heart is supposed to squeeze around 55 to 60% of its max capacity. Mine is now squeezing at 25%, and because of that, a blood clot formed in my heart, and it traveled up into the arteries of my heart. That's very serious. I almost died, and even if it was like longer than 10 minutes, I would not be here today.
The guy was literally minutes away from dying at 20 years old. I'm sure he never would have pictured this when he was looking in the mirror and he was flexing his chest, looking like an absolute mass monster. You do feel invincible, and then life just finds a way to smack you in the face. Can you see? It's just not worth it.
So please, if you have a loved one or somebody who's abusing PEDs, please just go talk with them. If they need help, get them help. Just do something so they don't end up like me.
I get lads messaging me all the time saying, hi Shaun, I'm thinking of hopping on steroids. I had someone a few weeks back say they're considering jumping on tren. He was 17 years old. 17 years old and considering getting on tren, the strongest steroid out there. I know people who have wanted to do good in bodybuilding, went down that rabbit hole, started taking all the steroids, done a few competitions, and now are completely off the gear because they've realised, oh wait there, what am I doing? I'm compromising my health for a little plastic trophy and a few Instagram pictures of me standing there in my trunks, and I understand my audience is like lads between age 15 and 35, 40 years old, and you're either one of three things. You're single and want to get more girls, so you want to make your physique better. For the most part, girls just want you to look decent, look athletic, and be in decent shape. They don't care about you being massive and jacked and super shredded. Or you're a lad and you've got a girlfriend and you eventually want to have kids. Well, taking gear will lower your chances of that happening because of how much it lowers your sperm count. Or thirdly, you've got a girlfriend and you've got kids with her and you want to be around for longer and live a longer life so you can be there for your kids and for your grandkids. So use this situation as a lesson. You don't actually know how your body is going to respond to steroids. You might sit there and think, yeah, but not me. I've got good genetics. I've got family who've taken steroids and they have got no problem with them. If you want to run that risk just for a little bit extra muscle, then be my guest. I'd much rather look athletic, be strong, explosive, and be able to handle myself than just be jacked, look good in the mirror, and barely be able to wipe my ass. It's just not worth it, boys. Have you ever considered taking steroids and then decided against it? What was it that made you reconsider taking them? I was this close to taking steroids. I'll tell you about that in a future video. Nice one, boys. Appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe with notifications turned on and check out one of my other videos right here. We upload 7 days a week, so I'll see you tomorrow.